Everyone you know is gonna die, you're gonna fade away into nothing, and everything you do is meaningless and has no point. Anyway, thanks for coming out, everybody. Hit that like button, make sure to subscribe. How a person spends their time is a very fickle thing. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. A 2-hour class at 10 a.m? Ugh, I am tired and I don't want to be here. A 4-hour Discord call at 3 in the morning where everyone suddenly becomes a clinical psychologist. Hell yeah, sign me up. Man, I really want to play some more Valorant, but I gotta be somewhere in the next 30 minutes. I guess I can play when I get back. My friends are coming over to hang out, and I'm in the middle of some private time. I could speedrun this. But if there's one thing we can all agree on, is that some days we just feel like we don't have enough time in a day. When you're a kid, you don't have as many responsibilities, so you have all the time in the world to goof around and explore. But as you get older, the responsibilities start piling up. Classrooms become lecture halls become offices. All the while, the list of things that you have to take care of seemingly gets longer and longer. You somehow have to find enough time in a day not just to do your own hobbies, but also the things that stop you from being homeless or dead. Would you believe me if I said I don't know how to pay taxes? But what if you did have all the time in the world? What if you suddenly could go through life without the pressure of having to do something or be someone? Would it change the way you look at things? Would it make you value the things around you even more, or would it make you more detached? After all, with so much time on your hands now, you can always put off some stuff for tomorrow, and tomorrow is always a day away, right? What's the rush? And this is something that the movie Maquia, When the Promised Flower Blooms, deals with, and it might just be one of the most impactful animes I have ever watched. What makes Maquia's story so impactful is how it portrays the relationship between its titular main character Maquia and her adoptive son Ariel. You see, Maquia isn't just your regular single mother, but rather a semi-immortal humanoid called an Eorf. In the setting, Eorfs age a lot slower than humans. The oldest Eorf is over 400 years old, but doesn't look a day over 25. And it's this longevity that influences most Eorfs to only live amongst themselves. Why bother getting to know the outside world when everything you know will just vanish and change in the next few years? To the Eorf, the downside of immortality is watching everything you made a connection with just wither away and fade. So much so that they call themselves the Clan of the Separated, because they're so reluctant to form a connection with anything that doesn't live as long as them. And it's from here you can kinda see where the main conflict of the story emerges. Because of the fact that Maquia has to hide her immortality and that she's an Eorf, it starts to put a strain on her relationship with her adoptive son Ariel. When Ariel's a kid, he doesn't really question why his mom doesn't seem to age. To him, Maquia is his mom and that's all there is to it. She's someone that will take care of him and that he'll continue to love. He doesn't really understand the concept of aging or dying because, yeah, what kid does? A lot of us just accepted the world for what it was when we were little. But when Ariel starts getting older and hits his teen years, that's when he starts having questions. And unlike your usual teenage edginess where you're angry at your mom because she doesn't know that you can't pause an online game, Ariel's angst is understandable. When your mom looks the same when you're 15 just as when you were 5, there's probably a lot of questions going through your mind. With more questions than answers, Ariel starts to push Maquia away. Not out of hatred, but out of confusion to the situation that he finds himself in. And the thing is, you can't really blame Maquia for this. She's forced to hide what she is because she wants to protect Ariel. Since the neighboring kingdom attacked her village and are hunting her people down, she just wants to make sure Ariel doesn't get mixed up in her own problems. All the while learning how to be a good mother to her only son. When she first starts taking care of Ariel, Maquia struggles to keep up with him. And there are even points where she wants to give up because of how overwhelmed she is in raising a child all by herself. But when she sees the unconditional love that Ariel can give, even when they have nothing, she learns to be brave for him. Maquia is determined to be the mom that Ariel lost. to take care of him just as much as Ariel wants to protect her. Even when he starts to push Maquia away, she never punishes him for that. Maquia understands that Ariel is starting to realize that she's not his actual mother. But even then, she still works hard to provide for him as much as a single mother can. To Maquia, Ariel may not be her biological son, but he's still the child that she chose to love. Even when Ariel wants to move out and strike off on his own, she's still willing to be brave for him up until the very end, even though she's absolutely devastated. All that Maquia has ever done was on the path to loving a child that's not her own. And that's what makes this movie so good. It's a fantastical world with very human struggles. If you grew up with a loving family, Maquia and Ariel's relationship is probably something that you can relate to. When you butt heads with family, yeah, things can get pretty heated and become awkward. But when shit hits the fan, your family will probably be first in line to bail you out. Maquia wanted to make this connection with Ariel, fully knowing how their journey would end. She learns that family is more than just the people that we're born to. Family are the people that make you feel safe, that will help you in times of difficulty and celebrate with you in times of joy. And if you don't believe me, take it from the premier family man, Vin Diesel, when he says, "Race wars, we invented it." Wait, no, wrong script. I don't have friends, I have family. What a guy. But what elevates this movie's amazing characters even further is definitely the overall message of the story. The movie, Maquia, shows you that family isn't just your own flesh and blood, but instead who you make it to be. The movie also shows you how to grieve for that family. I don't want to spoil too much, as I do believe this is a movie you should experience for yourselves, but near the end, Maquia visits Ariel one last time, and it's here you see him as an old man. And it's this day that Maquia knew would come. After exchanging what words they can, and giving comfort to each other in the ways that they can, Ariel passes away in the loving presence of his mother. His old human body, a stark contrast to Maquia's Eorf youthfulness. Maquia finally says goodbye to the one that changed her life, and in turn, that changed him. After she leaves, something happens to her for the first time in a very long time. Maquia weeps, not just for her son that passed away, but for the son that she loved, the son that she took care of, and the son that protected her. Maquia was warned that this day would come. She was told to beware the love of mortals, for they only invite despair and anguish for an Eorf. But the thing is, Maquia made the choice to love him. She made the choice to raise and protect him, to love him when he had no one else. And she made the choice to mourn him when the time came. She cries not just out of pain of loss, but also out of the joy of having known such love. It's because of this theme that I rate Maquia pretty high when it comes to anime movies. The movie doesn't tell you how you should be meaningfully spending your time, but reminds you that the question exists in the first place for you to answer. The moment Maquia adopts Ariel, she saw the writing on the wall. She knew their story would end in only one way. But even then, she still chose to dedicate her time to something she knew was fleeting. The time with Ariel was ephemeral, a blip in her immortality that she can look back on. But for Ariel, knowing Maquia was an eternity, someone he dedicated his entire lifetime to. In our own lives, it can get pretty easy to take things for granted. With so many things going on, it's easy for some of us to say, "Oh, I'll do it," or "I'll talk to my friends and family tomorrow." But like I said, tomorrow is always a day away. How many tomorrows will it be before we lose the things around us? I myself have an aging family member, and let me tell you, watching this person get older and weaker in front of my eyes is not an easy thing. You want so desperately for things to go back to the way they were, to the more simpler times, just like how Maquia wishes for Ariel to stay young forever, but you can't. But in a way, it's because things end is why they can become so special. It's what gives it meaning. It's easy to think that when something is inevitable, why try, right? It's all the same in the end. But when you know how it ends, wouldn't you try to make the here and now more meaningful? Maquia may have known how the story would end, and all that awaited her was sadness. But that didn't mean she tried any less than Ariel deserved. And that's just something that a lot of us need to remember from time to time.